You're most welcome. Teramma, please.
I am Therma from India, South Unit in Kottayam.
Can you tell us your congregation?
Medical Mission Congregation.
Good. Welcome.
From India. Yeah.
Please, sister, go ahead. You can unmute your microphone by yourself. You are not users today.
Okay.
No, you have to unmute. You mute it.
Okay. I am Sister Goya. I am originally from Brazil, but I live in the US. My congregation is Franciscan Sisters of Allegheny.
Good. So that's the Brazil.
Yes, I am from Brazil.
Good.
I am another Franciscan Sister of Allegheny, Margaret McGee, and also here in the United States.
Good. You wrote to me?
Yes.
Recently? Yes. Oh, I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy to
Thank you
start
for
to
helping.
recognize names, people. Wonderful.
I am.
Sister, you have to unmute your mic. I invite the people who do
I
not
have unmuted. Yeah.
Okay, welcome.
I'm Anne, Presentation Sisters Northeast from Ireland.
Welcome.
Thank you. Very good work you are doing. I have followed all your webinars. They're very, very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for participating, for your trust. So welcome to the people who are arriving. Feel free to unmute your microphone and just to share if you want to introduce. Oh, we have a man.
Hello.
I'm blessed among women.
Hi, nice to see you here. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Father Lord Winner, a Claretian priest, as the general mission coordinator.
Just a second, Father, because I invite people who are not speaking to mute themselves. You are already learning how difficult it is to run a Zoom meeting. So please.
Yeah, we are already using Zoom for some of our congregational meetings. So I want to be the host also to see how to do it better.
Very good. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Jane. Nice to see you.
Hi, Patricia. Thank you for having us. And can I just echo the person who just said, thank you very much for all you're doing. And Florence and Pat and everybody.
Yeah.
Talk about stepping up to the mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. And it's true. I mean, our faith, Florence and myself are here, but believe me, there is a team behind. We are working very hard, all of us. So it's not just because we are here, but please, sister, someone was raising.
Yeah, hello, I am Patricia. I am Sister Vivian from Philippines, Manila.
Yes, I see you. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
Hi, Patrizia. Can you hear me?
Yes, Carla. Nice to see you.
Ciao.
Come
How are you?
stai?
Fine, thank you.
Where are the children?
In their room. They are still having lessons and then homeworks. So now they have to manage by themselves. This afternoon they have to do it by themselves, and they will manage, I'm sure. I've instructed them.
Carla, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm the assistant secretary of the Congregatio Jesu. My general superior was speaking before me. Ciao, Jane.
Ciao, Carla.
Nice to see Georgiane online and to see some members of the board. Georgiane, you have to unmute your microphone if you want to speak. Not
okay?
yet.
Yes, I'm Pratibha from Mumbai.
Oh, very good. Welcome. Which congregation?
Society of the Sacred Heart. Florence.
Ah,
Okay, you are at home, so.
So nice to see you.
Yeah. How are you, Florence?
Fine. I am in Rome working here.
So are we.
Yes.
Jordan?
Oh,
Good
Beth.
morning,
We have
George, and it's morning where I am. I'm in the United States. I've been in quarantine for months. Like you are all in quarantine. I came to donate a kidney to my brother, and afterwards I couldn't leave. So I'm working from here now.
Good. Welcome.
Nice to see you.
Welcome to
Nice to
Sister
see
Pat.
everybody.
Welcome to Sister Mary Babbage. We have members of the board.
Hello, Patricia.
Hello.
It's Sister Ann Cargus calling from Peterborough in Canada. I am on, I do not have my video on. I am wearing my mask because we are doing screening for employees coming in. So I'm doing two things as I listen to this webinar.
Thank you. We can see your photo.
Thank you.
At least. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the new people arrived. Feel free to introduce yourself. You have just to unmute your microphone.
Hi, I'm Beth Sulyesa, Society of the Sacred Heart from the Philippines.
This is the fan club, Florence fan club.
Yeah.
But we can see there are Filipinos too.
Hi, Lay.
Hi, it's Elaine Gilbert. I'm Sisters of St. Joseph. I work with Sister Ann Cargus.
Good.
I'm the admin assistant.
Welcome, Elaine.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sister Lolia, Salesian Sisters from here, joining here from our general house here in Rome.
Welcome, Lolia.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sister Petrina from the United States. I'm a missionary sister of the Sacred Heart, Cabrini sister. Thank you, Patricia, for all you're doing and all your team is doing. It is fantastic work.
Thank you, sister. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Sister Rose, medical mission sister from Kerala, India.
We have a lot of people from Asia today. Good, happy.
Hello, I'm Francisca. I belong to Congregation of Jesus, like Sister Jane and like Carla.
Good. But where do you come from?
I come from Slovakia, but now I'm here in Rome, in Viano Montana.
Okay, good.
You see?
Sister Pat?
I just want to say greetings, because the Mary Ward sisters are well represented here too.
Yeah.
In this competition.
See, that is, we have just 2 lay people, I think, so we are not on board.
Hi, Patricia and everybody. Josephine Kane, Sisters of Our Lady of the Missions, and with me also is Lizzie Sebastian and Lucy Wambui.
Hello.
Nice to see you, the 3 of you.
Yes. Thank you for all the webinars. They've been great, very helpful.
Good, good. Next week we have various, for the following 2 weeks, we have a full program of things. So.
Yes. Very busy.
We have now increased our capacity so as to be able to host 500 on a webinar.
Wow, great. Wow.
Because last 2 days ago, we had a full number up to 300, and there were others who were waiting to access. So we have been able to increase the number.
Oh, great.
It was a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, but we are still traumatized.
I believe you. You went through a lot that day. Thank you for all of it and for this.
We were a little bit shocked.
Yeah.
It was a mistake.
I didn't know how to.
Hello. Sorry. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
I can see you.
I am here. Yeah. Who here?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
I see Florence. I don't see her.
So better.
Speak here, Florence.
No, we can hear you clearly.
You don't see me. I see myself in the pictures.
Actually,
Yes,
I'm looking for you.
Yolanda, we see you. I see you.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Yeah.
Other people are writing on the chat. Sister Rita, good afternoon. Welcome, Sister Densila. Sister Jacinta, nice to see you here, Sister Yolanda. Now I can see you very well.
I had to click off and again, and then it's doing, but it's not continuity because I'm now fixed.
It might be a problem of a connection.
Ah, okay, but I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
And welcome to some of our brothers who have joined us. I see your names on the screen. So we're
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you. And
thank you.
we have been working, I have been working with Brother Emili, and we will look to see how we can, that we can offer some shared webinars that are of interest to both USG and UISG. So that's part of the plan going forward.
We will start in a few minutes. We are a good group, so during the webinar, we will mute the microphone. Consider that today you are not users. You are not participants. Today you are administrators of this platform. So you can learn while we'll do.
Okay.
And you can see all the difficulties, but also the resources. So another thing that Florence will tell us how to do is to rename ourselves, because when we see user, we cannot name the person. So, but Sister Aislinn Moran, she will learn how to rename her picture. So these are small details that make the meeting more effective.
Yeah, Sister.
Or when we see PC, it's difficult, so we will learn all the things. We still have some minutes if someone of you would like just to introduce yourself. Nice to see you, Sister Pauline from Malta. She couldn't access the other.
Thank you, but I received.
Yeah, we send it out, yes. Good afternoon, Sister Gloria. So thank you for writing in the chat.
Hello.
Hello.
I am Priska, CJ.
Hello, Priska.
Ciao. But
CJ group is strong.
Okay.
Good participation.
Thank you.
Greetings to Aislinn and the presentation sisters in Ireland.
She has already welcomed me.
Hi, Rebecca from Myanmar. Talita kum Myanmar, you're most welcome. Yeah, we are very happy that Sister Gabriela shared with you the link. It's a good opportunity for all of us to learn more. Good. Florence, do you think we can start?
Yeah.
Florence, you have to unmute your microphone. If you want, I can teach you how to do it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I think we can start so we can take advantage of this time. It's more or less 1 hour because at 3:30 we have another meeting in French, the same meeting in French. Just to remind you what are the goals of this meeting. I'm Patrizia Morgante, the USG Communication Officer, and the goals of this meeting are two. First is to learn more tools, Zoom tools, to manage the platform as host, as administrators. We won't have time to see all the tools, so we invite you to write in the chat or to ask later on your questions or the things that you couldn't understand or the things that we couldn't talk about. And we will try to answer your questions in the following weeks or in the following days. The second goal is to see also some tips, some ideas to better facilitate a meeting online, because a meeting online is not the same that a meeting on site. So we will learn some tips for communication and facilitation. Sister Florence, she will help us for the first part, all the technical side. She's a sister of Sacred Heart, like many others here. She comes from France, and she's part of the USG staff, and she's a special brain for this kind of thing. So, Florence.
So thank you very much to join us for this webinar. And I am not used to speak, I am used to be behind the screen, not in front of the screen. So it's always a challenge for me. What we want to do today is to share our experience after, I think now it's 3 years that we are using Zoom. And with this coronavirus, we saw that everybody is using it a little more than before. So we said maybe we can share our experience, what we have learned, so it can help maybe some congregations. What I want to say is I am learning alone, and everybody can do it, just using the support of Zoom. They have a lot of video and a lot of tools to learn how to use Zoom. And also with the participants. The participants sometimes, they help us. We are traumatized by the meeting 2 days ago, and it's a participant who saved us, giving us good advice. So it's important to learn from other people. It's also difficult because Zoom is new, and they update every week their software. So they add always new features, and we have to learn with them. So we discover, it's like a game. We discover every week something new, and we have to learn a little more. We never know. Sometimes I say it's like that, and I discover that they have changed, and now it's better than it was before. We are speaking very often of webinar, but we are not using a webinar. A webinar, it's the possibility for, let's say, I will say a teacher to teach, and people can listen to the person, but they don't see who is online. So we choose not to use the feature of webinar, but to use meeting. So at the beginning, we were using GoToWebinar, and we moved to Zoom because we are happy when people can see the other. And for us, it was more important that everybody can see the other and know who is online, and to build a community, to build an assembly, to build something among the sisters than to teach. We are not giving talks just to teach people, but also to build something between the participants. So it's why we say very often we do a webinar. It's not a webinar, it's a meeting. And for the administrator, it's much more difficult because all the participants, they can do what they want. People are saying that my microphone is low. I can see. I hope it will be better like that. With Zoom, you have three possibilities. You have the free one, the version free, that is giving you 40 minutes. And you have the version that is pro, that is giving you everything except interpretation. And then there is the business that is giving you interpretation, that we are using a lot in our congregation when we are in international congregation and we are using translation. So I want to check if I can do something for my microphone. Maybe it's better like that.
Well, now it's good, huh?
Okay, okay. So one thing also, it's what is important. It's if you have some problem, technical problem, it's better to say what is happening than to stay in silence and try to solve them, because people say, what is she doing? What is happening? So you just say, okay, I am trying to check if something is working. I am trying to do something. So people feel secure that they are not alone to have this problem, but and they feel more secure because we try to solve the problem. So I was saying there is also the business license that is giving interpretation. But the problem of the business license is that you need to buy 10 licenses at the same time. And you can have also the pro license, the one that everybody is using very often, and it's enough for many things. And if you are adding webinar, the possibility of doing webinar, but the cost is also 37 euro a month, something like that, you can do interpretation. So my advice is just to use the pro version, except if you want interpretation. What Patricia was saying, it's we suppose that you know to be participant, and we suppose that you know to schedule a meeting and to organize a meeting. What we are going to do, it's for people who are using Zoom for more than 20 people, because when it's just a small meeting, you don't need to know how it's working. It's very simple, and everybody can follow the flow. So if it's a meeting like today, my first advice is to arrive at least 30 minutes before, because you need to check many things before you start the meeting. It's like a plane taking off. You have to check all the parameters, all the settings, to be sure that you will not get trouble during the direct. It's like a direct on TV. You cannot stop the meeting. People are here and they are listening to you. So it's better to check the technical part before. You can, so you arrive 30 minutes before as a host. You can allow people to arrive before the host. You can open the meeting before.
If it's a small meeting, there is no problem. People can meet and speak and be online before the moderator or before the host arrives. If it's a formal meeting like that, it's better not to permit to people to arrive before you, because you don't know what can happen before you arrived. And you have to keep the control of your meeting. So we are not using it. Now I am going to share my screen to explain a little more what I am going to say. Okay, so just wait. I have closed something a few minutes ago and I should not have done it, so I have to do it again. Okay. So I will share my screen. When we share the screen, it's always a surprise of what will happen. So you see my screen. I have the chat that is open because I have to check what is happening on the chat. And I have here the participants that are open. To get the participant, you just click on participant at the bottom. And to get the chat, you just need to click on chat. So at the bottom, you can see that this toolbar for me is always on, because it's quicker than to move your mouse to get this bar. I am using this bar every minute, not every minute, but very often. So it's one of the parameters, one of the settings that you can do. You can choose in the parameter. I don't know if parameter it's an English word, but in the setting that you do with Zoom. So you choose to have this bar always on. I will continue here. So with the list of participants, the first thing that I will do is also to try to put also the setting that when people enter in the meeting, they are mute. Because if they enter and they are not mute, very often when they connect, they speak to themselves, oh, it's not working, oh, I don't get, and everything. So people who are entering in the meeting during the meeting, they will make noise. So be sure that people are mute when they join the meeting or before they join the meeting. If they need to speak, they will know how to unmute their microphone. And if they don't know how to unmute, it's better that they are mute than to be unmute and not know how to mute. So it's better to keep them mute than to keep them unmute. So, but your job as host is to follow here that people are mute. So on the right side, you can see people who have their camera on because it's white, and you can see people who have their microphone off. And we can see that Pat has her microphone that is on, and we can see that Patricia, her microphone is off. So when I continue, when you go down, you can see who has a video camera, and you can see at the end that these people, utente, they don't have a camera. So they don't have a camera. And if I click on their name, I see that they don't have a camera. So I cannot ask them to open their camera. If I go down, okay. So we have people who are connected without anything. It means that it's not working very well. And we have somebody, an RSCG, who has no microphone because we don't see the symbol. It's the last one, and we don't see the symbol of the microphone. So sometimes people will connect, but in their computer, they don't have microphone or they don't have the camera. If they have a camera and they don't open it, you can always, for example, Valeria, who is here, I will say, Valeria, can you start your video? And when people don't know how to put on their camera, you just ask them to start their video. They receive a message and then they will start or not start their video. But it helps them because on their screen, suddenly they will see the host is asking you to put on your video. So for people who don't know how to do it, you help them doing it like that. So you have to follow what I was saying. You have to follow who has a micro that is open or not. For example, Pat, I will mute her microphone. Patricia, I will unmute her microphone. I can play, and if somebody is unmute and making a lot of noise, I am here during the meeting and I follow who is on or who is not on, to be sure that the meeting is peaceful. When you choose mute, here, you click on mute all, you can allow participants to unmute themselves. Yes, the participant, they can unmute themselves. No, I don't want them to unmute themselves. So, at the beginning of the meeting, you were like that, because Patricia said you can unmute yourself, your microphone to speak, but during the meeting, we can see that Patricia did like that. She said, no, they have to listen to Florence. I don't want them to speak now, so they cannot speak now. And at the end, when we will have question and answer, I am sure she will do like that, to allow people to ask questions. So now that the microphone is like that, we know that nobody can speak except the co-host. So the first things or the second things that you have to do is to name people co-host. This co-host will help you during the meeting. So Patricia, Pat Murray and Patricia Morgante, they are helping me to close the microphone, to close and to check if everything is all right. When they are co-hosts, and it can be also important when we are, for example, today we are 174, we can see it here. If you have somebody who is going to give a talk, to find this person, to know where this person is giving a talk, you have to use find a participant. And for example, I will take a name. I will see somebody who is called Philippe. Okay. So I start to click and then I can see the name and find the person, because it's very difficult to find a person when you have to go up and down this list of participants. So when I know that somebody will give a talk, I put this person co-host and she's on top of the list. It's easier for me and to say, okay, she's here, she has her microphone off, she's present, okay, she's ready. And because she's co-host, she can open and close herself her microphone, even if I say that the participant, they should not be able to open their microphone. When you are co-host, you are no more participant.
Florence, sorry, can you repeat how you name a co-host?
Okay, so you go for example, I will take Angela, and here I will say, okay, I can chat with her, I can send her message, I can ask her to start the video, I can make her co-host, and I can make her host. If she's host, she take my job and I don't want. But co-host, yes, I choose that she can be co-host. To have co-host, it's also the same. You have to go to the setting of your license. When I say you have to go to the setting of your license, it means that you have to go in, I will show you, it's what I was doing here. In Zoom, I will move this one. In zoom.us, when you type in zoom.us here, you go to my account, and there it's where you will find all the details here in setting. You have the meetings, here you have your profile, you have the meeting, all the meetings that are planned here, all the meetings, and we are here. We have 2 meetings now in Louis. And here in the setting, you can get everything. And my advice is you take time to read everything and to select what you want. And when I am saying, I'm thinking about the setting of your license, I am setting of everything that we choose here. And you can choose here to have a co-host. I am going a little fast because I don't know if you know already about it or if it's new, but we can then with the question maybe we can do it again. The difference between the co-host and the host is, you can see I am the host, so I have polls. I have interpretation. And I have breaking room, so I can divide this meeting in several rooms. And I have the streaming, so I can, and it's what we did when we had more than 300 people the other day. Suddenly we said, okay, go and live on Facebook, and we send our meeting straight away on Facebook. But it is only the host who have this option. So the difference between host and co-host, it's only this option. The polls, the interpretation, the breaking room, the streaming, and there is also, but I don't see maybe, and the closed caption. So the subtitle, you can, when I am speaking, you can have somebody who type the closed caption, the subtitle of what you want. Sometimes people are using it for translation. They ask somebody to do the translation just by writing, and some people are just giving, I don't know, some advice. You send some subtitle to say who is speaking, or to use it like that during your meeting. I want to speak about security. The host and the co-host, they have to. Now, I want, before speaking about security, I will show you something, but maybe you know it. If I click on somebody who has no video, I can hide non-video participant. So now I have only people with a video, and it's helping because I know I can see people, I can see the face of people. And people who don't have video, they don't appear anymore. So I have 3 pages now, and only people with video. And I, as a host, I follow what is happening, because I don't want to have somebody that I don't want, and I don't want also that sometimes the participants are doing things that I don't want to publish. So as a host, you have also to check what is happening behind the camera of the participant. Sometimes we are very, very surprised of what is happening. Sometimes we are very happy because we see the communities, we see people, we see the faces. So we prefer when the video are on. But sometimes it's better, if you are doing something else and you don't listen, it's better to put your camera off. If you want here on the top, you can see that we have 79 who don't have video. So I will show again there. I will put them back. You can choose to hide them or to have them with you. So okay. Yes, security, something that is important. Security. Now, when you have all the participants, your assembly, your provincial meeting, your council meeting, you are 8, you are 9, you are 12, you know that everybody is here, you just lock the meeting. You lock the meeting, nobody can enter anymore in the meeting. And you are sure that nobody will enter. Zoom was very criticized with their security. It's true, because I remember at the beginning I was saying to Patricia, you know, very often if somebody enters in our meeting and want to do things or want to speak or something, we don't know. Sometimes we saw some journalists or some and we say, why they are here? Of course, because they got the flyer, they saw the number, and they just enter in our meeting. So if you don't want them to enter or to be here, you can remove a participant. So you choose the person that you want to remove. I don't want this person, I can remove Elena. So I go, I click on this person, and I just remove this person. I can lock the meeting, so nobody can enter anymore. So people who have left, they cannot enter anymore.
Sorry, can you say again how to lock the meeting, which is the button to click on?
Alors, here, you go to security, and you lock the meeting here. Can you see on top? Okay, so when you are co-host or host, you don't have it on your screen because you are participant. So of course the participant cannot touch the security of the meeting. But if you are the host, you can choose to lock the meeting. You can choose also to enable a waiting room. So people, when they will arrive, when the participant will arrive here, you will see they are waiting to be accepted in the meeting. So the other day, just a little story, when we were more than 300 people, and the translator, they were out and they couldn't enter in. So what I did was not nice, but I took some people and I said remove, because I wanted to have the interpreter in. But on the waiting list behind, many people were entering. So I was putting out many people, but people were entering and my interpreters were still out. So a participant said, no, just put the waiting room. So you just enable the waiting room, and then in the waiting room, and it's true here, but we don't see because we have nobody in the waiting room, we could choose the two interpreters to enter in the room and say to the other, no, you stay out, we are sorry, we are 300, we cannot accept you anymore, but at least I choose the two people that I wanted to be in. And they could translate, but it took us 15 minutes before somebody helped us to find this way. So it's a security.
I'm sorry to disturb you. Just to make clearer where you put your mouse, because we don't see very well where you put your mouse when you click on some button.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, we are poor people who are trying to learn.
Alors, here you can give the authorization to share your screen to the participant. You can also allow participants for the chat, to chat between themselves. You can can rename themselves. And they can annotate the content that I am doing now. So it means that not everybody can share screen, but people can share screen. And I see it here on the green bottom. So one participant can share at the same time, or multi-participant can share at the same time. What we are doing very often, we disable share screen because many people are playing during the meeting. They tried their bottom, they tried everything, and they click in share screen. And I think each meeting we have people who try, and suddenly we see the screen of somebody when we were speaking. So we do it only when the speaker is asking to share her or his screen. If not, I disable this one. For us, it's very important that people can chat between themselves during the meeting. And you can send message, and we ask people to send message or to Patricia or to me or to Pat Murray when she's here, to the co-host. See, there is somebody or there is people who are in the waiting room now. Okay, I will unmute all of them. Okay, I unmute all of them. They are entering. It was on top right. On top. So I continue with the chat. It's very important for people to chat between themselves. For us. You can rename what Patricia was saying. You can rename yourself. It's not nice when you have somebody who is called computer. I am sure we will find a computer or a galaxy. Here. HP. It's not nice for us to see HP. So very often the person doesn't know how to rename. As administrator, you can do it. I can rename this person. And I say, no, I don't like HP. Please, sister, put something. And I don't know, but I will do it for you. If you know if the person cannot do it, you, as an administrator, you can rename people or help them to rename. And it's also part of your job. Part of your job is to help the meeting to be easier, to be better. You can see that in my screen, you have almost 45 people, something like that. 6 by 7, 42 people. If I am full screen, okay, if I am full screen, I will get even more people. If the processor of your computer is an Intel i7, you can get almost 50 people on your screen. If the processor is an i5, you can get only half of them, so 25. So if you are going to have a lot of meetings and you are going to be the host and the administrator, it's better to have a better computer so you can manage more people at the same time. When you schedule a meeting, you can choose, but you know about it, you can choose to use an personal ID that is always the same. So people know that you are using this number and you don't need to send it. Or you can ask Zoom to choose to generate an ID. It's what we use also for security. Each meeting has a number. If you want to know the number of this meeting, you click here on top left and you see the number of this meeting. This is the number that you have to give to people, and you can copy also URL to send it for the invitation. So if you don't remember the number of your meeting, you send it. When people call you to say by WhatsApp or I cannot enter, I don't have the number, you just click here and you get the number. To record, you have the choice. We are recording this meeting. When you click on record here, you have the choice between to record it on the cloud or on your computer. If you do it on the cloud, you have a lot of options. They will record the speaker view. The speaker view is here on top left, so they will record this, only the speaker speaking, or they will record also, and they will record the gallery view. The gallery view, I choose gallery view, so they will record this part. So you have a lot of option when it is recording on the cloud. If you choose to record on your computer, you record what is happening on your computer. If you are playing between speaker view and gallery view, the record will play between speaker view and gallery view. Okay.
So may I ask you a question from the chat? In the gallery view, the participants were according to the ABC and so long, but in the thumb view, the small one, can the names be according to ABC?
Too easy. This would be my dream, first dream. I don't know to do it because it seems that it's, no, I even don't know. Because when people start to speak, they get on top, so they move. So even they are moving during the meeting. If you start to speak, if you are in the second or the third page, you come to my page and you are not in the same place in each computer. So in some computer, if you take two computers, people are not at the same place. So it's impossible. The only way to find a participant is really to use find a participant here. Now, I don't know how to do it, and I hope one day it will be possible. I really hope one day it will be possible because it's difficult. It's difficult.
Well, there's another short question. Is personal number ID and meeting number ID the same?
I was not listening. I was doing something else.
Strange. His personal number ID and meeting number ID is the same?
Yes, it is a personal ID. It's, I will go to my, here. So in my profile, here, I can choose, so this is the one of Luis. I can choose a number, and I choose a number that I will always remember, that is easy to remember. So this number is my personal ID. So when I want to use, when you are here, host a meeting, when I do host a meeting with video or without video, I don't need to schedule a meeting. So if I do that, the meeting will start. And when the meeting starts, it will start with this ID. So this personal ID, it's used when you want to start a meeting, without scheduling the meeting. And if people know your number, and you said, okay, let's go on Zoom, let's go on my personal ID, they will go directly to this number without doing the schedule that is here, meeting, schedule a new meeting, doing a new meeting and everything. So it's helping.
Florence, I think it's important that you teach us how to share the screen and the audio.
People
Can you do that?
People don't know. People know.
Audio too, I'm not sure about that.
So I will stop. So when you share your screen, you click on share screen. You will have these pages. and you can share or your screen or the documents that are open. Here you can see what is open on my computer. I have 3 windows that are open. The one that we have seen, that is how to schedule a meeting. The one of Zoom, that is sign out, and here. So when you want to share your screen, the first thing that you have to do is to open what you want to share first. So you open your document and then you choose the document that you want to open. If you want to share a video, you have to share the sound here at the bottom left. You have to share the computer sound. And then you choose your video. And then you click on share. I am already sharing, so I cannot do it always. And if you want to share, you want to play between video, PowerPoint and everything, you have to do each time new share, and then you choose a new document. So when you want to use a new document, you go always on new share. Before starting a meeting, and then I will explain what happened during the meeting, but now let's do still before, we are still before the meeting start. You have to check with the speaker, you have to check the microphone, that how she's speaking, what we didn't do with me, and people say, oh, your microphone is too low, because we forgot to check my microphone before. You have to check her internet connection to be sure that she will not get freeze like that half of the time. And you have to check, I will use speaker view when I speak, and you have to check so the microphone, the internet connection, and that this person knows how to share the screen. And she has to open the documents that she would like to share before. So to prepare the meeting, we are still speaking about before. Everything, it's why you have to arrive 30 minutes before, because you have to check all of that.
Flo, you still have 5 minutes.
How many?
5 minutes.
Okay, so it's right. During the meeting, as a host, I play with speaker view and gallery view. Speaker view, because I want to be sure that the person who is speaking is okay. And sometimes I want to know who is speaking. For example, when I am in speaker view, I am sure that I will see the next one who is speaking. Because if I am in gallery view, what was happening just a few minutes ago, you look for who is speaking this person. So if you are the host, you know that I will take you, Mary, I'm sorry, but I said, okay, Mary is going to speak. So I go to Mary. I am ready to spotlight her video. She's not speaking, but I spotlight her video. She's not speaking, but she knows now that she has to speak, because she knows that, I am here in the middle of everybody. Everybody has me. So, okay, so she will speak. So when you start with the question and answer, so at the end I cancel the spotlight video and I go back to the gallery view. But when you have many people asking to speak, you just spotlight the person and she knows that it's her turn, instead of saying I don't know who. So I have to work with Patricia, and we are trying to do it. Or Patricia is saying, Florence, I give the voice to this person and this person is speaking. Or I will spotlight the video and then Patricia will know that this person is asking to speak. So it's why sometimes and she can do it also because she's co-host. So we try, both of us, to organize who will be the next to speak. I am going fast, but and then you can cancel the spotlight because you stay in speaker view. If sometimes during the meeting I said, oh, there is something very strange happening here, I will choose the presentation because I don't see who is behind the camera, I want to know. And I will say, no, I don't want to spotlight the video because if I spotlight the video, it's for everybody, for the 187 people who are participating. I just want to see this woman. So what I am doing pin video. And what is pin video? Pin video is just for me. So I put the pin video for me, but it's not for everybody. And I unpin video. So when I use, and I will take again Mary because she's in the middle of my screen. If you have pin video, you put this person in big in your computer. If you put spotlight video, you put this person in big for everybody who participate to the meeting. And when you spotlight somebody, the people, if they want to go back to gallery view, they have to do it themselves. So when I spotlight somebody, I am going to do it again, Mary, with you, I am sorry. So Mary is here. If you want to go back to gallery view, you have to do it manually. You have to choose gallery view on top right. My mouse is not moving anymore, but you know where is gallery view. You should know where is gallery view. Okay, so you have to play with that during the meeting.
So there are some questions in the chat. Do you want to answer later?
I think I have finished. I am trying to see what I want to say, but I think I have finished.
I mean, we finished the first part because we have other things that perhaps we can include a more advanced meeting on technical tools. So may I ask some questions?
Yes, we can take some questions. And then I just wanted to say that if you have sisters who are old, or if you have people who have very old computer, because it happens in our congregations, they cannot connect with Zoom. They cannot download this little program of Zoom. They don't know how to do it. They can call by phone in each country except 4 or 5 countries. You can call by phone a number that you will find also in the setting of Zoom. You just pay a local, a national number, like a phone call, and you can join the meeting without your video, but at least you can listen to what is happening and you can speak with your phone. So people who have a very old computer or who are too old themselves to participate, or they can call by phone and use their phone, or there is also a possibility to join with the browser only without using the little software of Zoom. So there is also some possibility for people with difficulties.
Flo, can you explain about interpretation shortly?
Yes, so at the bottom, I will share my screen again. I will share my screen. Okay, no, I didn't share my screen. I didn't share my screen. I will do it stop. I will do it again because I think I have, okay. Because when I get in and out, it gets lost sometimes. So I will share it now. I share my screen. So can see what is happening. I will move this one. Here, in interpretation, so if you have the business license, you just add somebody as interpreter. So here, I will choose Mel, are you ready to translate? I put you as interpreter. So I just click the first letter of her name, and then she will be here. I choose English and French. Oh, you're going to speak French with me. And I do start. I can add a second one. I will do the same. I will type, let's say, Pat Murray. Okay, so I choose Pat Murray. And I put another language. I will put English to Spanish. We don't have Italian. Zoom is not, you can see on the language, there is a lot of languages, but there is no Italian. It doesn't matter, it is just the flag. It doesn't, it's opening channel to speak, but it doesn't change. Then when I do start, at the bottom of your screen, you can choose the language that you want to use. So, me, as a host, I am the one who manages the language interpretation. I am the one who chooses the person who will be the translator. And I choose the language. So we will have a meeting in English, French, and Spanish. And the people who has been assigned translator, they have to choose the language that they want to, that they will have to translate. And maybe, Mel, can you choose a language? They didn't choose a language. And then when you have to accept to be a translator, and maybe you have to open your microphone too.
She's not able to, she cannot do it, I will do it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then when you choose to then the participant will choose a language. So for example, I will choose to listen to English. So I choose to listen to English. I click to English, and and then I listen to English. But when I listen to English, I can hear also the original audio. If you don't want to hear the original audio, you can mute original audio and listen only the translation. If you don't want to use the interpretation, you put off. You say, no, I don't want to use the interpretation. But when you speak, it's better if you choose the channel of your language. It's helping the translator. So when you speak, it's better if you choose English if you speak English, French if you speak French. If you have a PowerPoint, the PowerPoint will be in the original language. And the translator can translate in the 3 languages. As the host, I go back to manage and I can change, and I said, no, I don't want Pat. I prefer to have, Patrizia Morgante, and I will choose Patrizia Morgante. So I update the meeting. I have been so at the end I stop because, okay.
Florence,
yes.
Can you tell us briefly how to make the breakout rooms, working groups?
Okay, so I will do the simple way. Breaking room, you choose here, breaking room. Breaking room, you choose a number of little group that you would like. We are 188. So I said I want 10 rooms. You can choose, the computer can choose who they will put in the room, or I can choose manually who I will put in the room. So when I create the room, I said this person, I give a name, I will give a name to the room. First I give a name, and then I choose, and then I choose who I will put in each room. So I will say this one I want her in the room 1, this one I want her in the room 2. So you can choose. I go back, I do it again, because I am fast. I go to breaking room, I go to breaking room. In breaking room, I said, oh, I forgot, but I said 10 rooms before I choose a number. I can give a name of this group. This one will be an English speaking group. And then in the English speaking group, I can say, I want Azus to be in this room. I want Anne-Marie, I want Anne to be in this room. I choose people that I put in the room. And then when it's done, when everybody is I will recreate, because I will put it automatically. And when you create the room, you click on the bottom, and each one of you, but I don't want to do it because I want to keep you with us. You just, and we are sharing the screen, so it's difficult. So when you do that, you break this assembly in little groups. You can choose the time, and you say in 10 minutes, you have 30 minutes, you have half an hour, and you can choose to close the small groups and to put everybody together, and each person who is in the little room can choose to go back to the assembly when they want. So it's really, it can be helpful when you have a big meeting like that and you want to break what is happening, and using small rooms, and people, or you say to the computer to do it, or you do it yourself, and then when they want, they can go back to the big room. And as a host, you can jump from one room to another to see what is happening in the small rooms. And people in a small room can ask the host to come because they have a question, they have a problem, they want to know something.
Florence, we have to go to close this part, to have 5 minutes for some tips, and just 2 short questions about breakout meetings. Will the breakout meetings also be recorded? Yes. Florence?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because we haven't ever used it actually.
Yeah, they
do. No, we use it with the formaters, but we don't record, so I don't know.
It does record the breakout rooms.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of them?
Yeah. You can set
nice.
it up to record them. Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting.
Interesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
I suggest you to always check with the people, because when you have a breakout rooms, it's possible that people want to talk about something that they do not want to be public, you know? So it's important to ask always,
you
my
have
opinion.
To assign, sorry, Patricia, you have to assign to record the particular room. It's not recommended because people can say things that they don't want.
That's right. And it's also for a freedom of conversation. The other last question, please do not, I'm sorry, we are going to answer your question also, or with another meeting, or Florence will record the video trying to answer these questions, okay? So you can take a time after this meeting, and then you see what are still pending. Florence, the breakout rooms are only in the business Zoom profile?
No.
Okay.
They're in the pro.
So in freedom, in the free, okay? So now before we close, we will take some minutes to reflect on some facilitation elements, you will see that will be very connected. As Florence was saying, we can share only what we have been learning, also through mistakes, and most of this learning comes from your questions and your needs. As you can imagine, this is a very funny photo. Florence and myself trying to cope with technical problems like 2 days ago. So it's online meetings are very different from on-site meetings. I think that most of our congregations are using these new platforms not because they have chosen, but because it was because of the COVID. So we were not skilled to do that. We were not ready. But I think it's a good opportunity to discover these platforms as a big resource. Why are different the online meetings and the on-site meetings? Let's see something. But I suggest you to reflect on that and to write your notes, your ideas. This is just what we have experienced so far. The context, the setting is different. Perhaps I'm not anymore in my office, or I have to share the space with other sisters or with other people. The context is changing because before I was perhaps in another community, and now I'm locked in another community. There is no physical presence and no verbal communication. This is very important, and this is a general difficulty also for all the digital spaces. We do not talk just through our words. The 80% of our communication is through our body and no verbal communication. No verbal communication also helps to animate, to stimulate our emotions, our empathy with the people. So it's more difficult to feel connected, to feel involved in a digital world, in an online meeting. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's more difficult. So when we prepare the meeting, we have to take that into consideration. Communication passes through pixels. That is very different than my body, than the flesh. My flesh says something to people. Actually, the pixel is just the small bit of the computer. So everything passes through numbers. Digital meetings or courses cause more stress, and the different stress to which we are used to. What I mean saying that we do not move a lot. Our eyes are more work more than usual. So actually it's a different stress we are used to. So we have to take care of this stress, and I will suggest you something later on. There are interesting articles in English, but also in Italian, of how people now experience a different kind of stress because we cannot go out or because we cannot talk with other people, but we are a lot of time online. It's easier to get distracted. A sister comes in, a phone call, my mobile. I'm just losing interest in the conversation, so I take my mobile. Sense of security, anonymity, freedom. for some people who do not feel secure to be in an on-site meeting, sometimes the online meeting help them to be more secure, to feel more comfortable in also sharing or to be part of the meeting. We need to take care of the various moments before the meeting. We have to prepare each step before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. Let's see something about before the meeting. Oh, sorry. As you can see, we can make a lot of mistakes during just touching a button or something else, you know. Just to share something, at the very beginning where Florence was speaking, I spent 10 minutes answering email, messaging Facebook and in WhatsApp because people could not enter in the room. So this is important to remind when I will say something else. So before the meeting, send all the information and documents on time. You can say, but this is what we usually do. It's right. But when you do it, when the meeting is just online, you need to be more careful, more attentive with the needs of the people. Organize a technical test with the participants or speakers to reassure them, explaining what they need to do or what they have to expect. For instance, if we have sisters, aged sisters, but it's important they participate in the meeting, it's also important that they can have a test before, so they feel they get used to the space, to the digital space before the official meeting or before the courses. Send the agenda with clear themes and times. This is very important because when you are in an on-site meeting, you can spend more time to talk to some issues and you can negotiate. But when you are online, it's more difficult to negotiate, to take a decision. So it's important to have a time for each session, so people also know how much energy she needs to use. And it's important also the break, the pauses. Prepare everything you need in advance on your computer. This is what happened to Florence before. She opened everything and then something happened that it's closed and you lose time. Something else about before the meeting, it's about the agenda. The agenda is very important. Include the multimedia tools to facilitate attention. You cannot talk for 1 hour and a half when you are on site. So my suggestion, mainly it's for meetings, but also for courses, to have a multimedia tools. What I mean, a short video or some interaction, some activities that can break the rhythm. And if you want to use videos, make sure that your connection is good enough to show the video well. Experience platforms for greater interaction, chats, digital boards like Google Jamboard that is free, and it's very nice to make some brainstorming. Integration with social networks. You can ask people for answers for instance.
Wow. Abby, you better start.
This happens very often that someone comes up like that. Integration with social media, so you can ask people.
What is it called?
Please close your microphone. We have to. Integration with social network means that you can ask people to interact or to share something in the social media. It depends on the topic. This creates a new rhythm of the meeting.
I'm sure.
In this case, what I would do is to go in the tools, and Mark allow people to unmute themselves. Perhaps I forgot to do it before starting. Florence will do it. If you have a PowerPoint, little text in each slide, and for instance, did you see how I'm using colors? Is to facilitate. Expect, this is the ideal world. Expect one person who facilitates and one who technically manages the meeting. In this case, Florence and myself. While Florence was speaking, I tried to take care of the chat. So she was focused just on giving the talk to you. This is also for an online meeting for the congregation. It's important to have a person who takes care of the technical side and the person who takes care of the interaction, of the relationships, of the communication. Some tips now about an agenda for courses. I see now that many people are moving the courses online. Establish a rituality for each meeting. It's very reassuring. A beginning, in each meeting of the whole course. So a nice bringing activity at the beginning, the main content with different activity, and then a closure. Rituality helps people to follow, to be involved, not to get bored. Group work with a moderator or clear objectives. This is what breakout rooms might be. I experienced as breakout rooms as a participant, and we was throwing in this room without knowing well what to do and how to manage the conversation. Working group are always a little bit, can create embarrass for people, even though if you are in an on-site meeting. But if you are online, we were looking at each other, we don't know what to do. So the facilitator has to give clear guidelines, clear questions, clear task, a time, and perhaps ask the group to look for, to assign a moderator, a person who can make sure that everybody has the time. At the beginning, explain the meeting program, objectives, and material. These are rules also for on-site meetings, but they are very important details for online meetings. Ask for confirmation and seek interaction by asking specific questions. Perhaps you might repeat 2-3 times the same content to make sure that people don't get distracted. And when you ask a question, for instance, don't ask general questions. Ask very specific questions and invite people to answer in 2-3 options. They can raise the hand, they can write in the chat, or they can ask the flow. During the meeting, I will be very fast, but I will send you this. I will send you this PowerPoint. Not too formal, but always very respectful. We cannot be too formal in an online meeting, but always respectful. For instance, I experienced in a meeting that the facilitator who knew most of us, sometimes he called some of us just to interact specifically, or he called us for something. Sometimes if it's too much, I feel, but if it's a good balance, it helps. It helps the vitality of the online meeting. Always ask for permission to record and to take photos. This is a very important point. One of the questions was about the GDPR, the European regulation for data protection. If you have already a form to sign, you can send this form to people before the meeting, And if they belong your congregation, I think you have already done that. But if they are external people, you can send this sheet that they can give you back signed before the meeting. But otherwise, in these special situations, you can ask a general agreement, a general oral agreement, asking if they have some problem to be recorded or to take a photo. They can write to you in the chat privately. In the chat, you can select in the arrow to whom you can write. Ensure short breaks. These are very important. Adapt content to the online space. You cannot reproduce what you can do it in an on-site meeting online completely as it is. Take care of tone, rhythm, gestures. This is also a culture influence, you know. During the meeting, some other very fast tips. Warn people to consider that they are online. These are very important. Sometimes people, sisters, follow the meeting on the bed like that. I mean, this is difficult if you have also external people. So you have to, we cannot do what we like just because we are in the digital world. So I cannot go out on from my house naked, you know, without habit. So it's the same. We have to keep a sort of, I don't like to call it education, but a sort of galateo, you know, and to make sure that microphone is off if I'm talking to my sister or if I answer the question. I'm saying that because we experience very bad moments with sisters, okay? We think that digital world is an invisible place. It's not. Manage the chat with moderation. Sometimes it's important to say people not to chat. If you are having a meeting on spirituality, perhaps it's important also to have a time of, you know, tranquility and to set a specific time for chatting. If there are people who do not speak the language of the meeting well, you have to take care of that, to make sure that people understand. You have to speak clearly. In this case, you can use what Florence was mentioned is the like subtitles. So you can have a person, so just to make sure for key points of your talk, just to write in this language so the person can feel more included. If there are interpreters, you have to take that very into consideration when you prepare your material, when you explain the speakers how to manage their talk if there are interpreters. So if they have a long PowerPoint and they do not read the PowerPoint and they speak, the interpreters can just translate or the text or the speaker. So it's very important, these small details, because people feel uncomfortable when they do not understand. Invite to do neck movements sometimes, so to use your body, because otherwise it's difficult to learn. Our body is part of our learning process. Put yourself in the shoes of the participants always, if you want a successful meeting. After the meeting, do not lose the contact with the people. Send the registration, minutes, material. Keep the relationship up. Make a brief online evaluation during the meeting or immediately afterwards. Over time, you get used to being online. We are now getting used to it. Some final tips for all of us. Do not schedule too many meetings on the same day. Don't forget stress. If you are attending a meeting, mute cell phone notification and close your computer windows. It's very easy to get distracted. Find a specific place to hold these meetings. Choose a place in your small community, in your small house, where you are doing that, and take care of this space. A glass of water or a bonbon, something else that might feel you at home or comfortable. Find strategies for overcoming digital fatigue. A personal program. It might be to look out the window, to move my chair in order to look at a tree, or just to go out for a walk or whatever, or to make a drawing during the talk. If we participate in an online course, it's good to be disciplined. It's very important. Identify strategy to memorize concept. It's more difficult to memorize concept in the digital world. Thank you for your patience. I hope you want to become like this man, dealing with many things at the same time as Sister Florence usually do. We have to close because we have to move in the French room for the webinar in French. Florence is very happy. I'm not, because my French is very poor.
What I just want to add, it's this a Zoom meeting is always public. So in terms of confidentiality or privacy and record and everything, you never know. Somebody can record the meeting in your and you don't know it. Or there is no privacy. We have to be aware of that. When you were speaking, I said, even if we speak about security, it's never completely private. We're online, and like social media, things can go out easily. It's easy to record the screen, and nobody will know about it, or to record. You don't see it because you don't see the person. And we have to be careful. Sometimes we speak about assembly or chapter or meeting, but we have really to put some rules. I see some in the chat, some question about that. Really, we have to sign rules or some. We have to define a protocol or something for privacy a little more, like we did for the chapter when we are in the same room. We are used to follow some rules, and I think on this video conference we have to think, to work on it, to try to work on it, how to do it, to put privacy behind that.
Good point, Flo. For instance, I can take a photo making like a screenshot. Nobody knows.
Yes.
I can do whatever. I mean, it's normal that, and between us, we do not have this problem, but we have to be very careful.
Yes, it's why the banks don't want to use this kind of platform, and some very specific organizations, they say no, but it's not because it is Zoom or Google or Microsoft. It's because you don't see what people are doing behind.
But it's a wonderful resource.
Yes, for these kind of meetings.
Thank you for your patience. I know that we were very fast.
Yes, we were very fast. Sorry. We record, so maybe you can take it. As I was saying at the beginning, in Zoom you have a lot of tools and small video that explain also how it's working. And you can always send us a WhatsApp or a message or an email. I am helping a lot of congregations who have some specific question about what to buy, what to do, about interpretation. It's true, about how to use interpretation. I am helping also sometimes some congregations who start a meeting to settle the interpretation, and then I leave the meeting if you need some help.
Flo, may I write your email right here?
Yes.
So this is Florence' email. She's responsible of our migrants project. That's why the email comes up like that. retemigranti@usg.org.
Yes, and if you have some, yes, if I can help you, if I can do it, I will be happy to do it. Or if you want to know, I don't know.
Perhaps we can think more advanced. So we will talk about that. Let's see also Sister Pat. Sister Pat is still here? Pat, are you still here?
No.
Okay. Okay, I think we have to leave in respect of the French-speaking people.
I hope it helped you. Okay. Bye to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can open your microphone. You are free now. You're locked out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That was wonderful.
Very much.
Very helpful.
Have a nice day, a good night.
so much.
Depends.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
God bless.
You have been in silence for so long.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.